Alright, so today we're going to film this thing. This thing is absolutely amazing. Uh, this is, like it says, 3D Mirascope. It does a hologram in the middle there. And it's hard to really tell just by looking at the box. But, and there it is right there. And I'll show it in just a second. But on the back of the box it explains what's happening. You have top half and bottom half. As you can see, that hole right there is it is a hole. Even with nothing in it, it looks like a hole. I mean, it doesn't look like a hole, it looks like a mirror. But it's completely a hole, there's nothing there. And the top half comes off, and what you have, if you read here, it's basically two parabolic mirrors that are facing each other, and then it projects whatever's in the bottom into up and makes it look like it's above the top. And I guess it, well, it's pretty confusing actually, even to explain. But that's what it says it does, and that's what it does. And you may have seen this on Amazon. You were wondering if it was any good. Made by a company called Toysmith, which might be. And it also says DaMert. And I don't know which one it's listed under, but if you look for 3D Mirascope, you'll find it. And what I've done here, and of course the more light it has, and so I've got this light propped up above it, the more light it has, the better it works. And let me just show the way the top comes off there. And so what you have is two parabolic mirrors. You'll be able to even see the camera, maybe maybe not. Yeah, gosh, even looking at the camera is pretty bizarre, to say the least. And so, yeah, this thing does weird things. That's just when you get up really close to it. Now the camera's all confused. Okay, there we go. And then the top is the opposite of that and just goes the other direction. I'm probably going to give up trying to film that. And whatever you put in the bottom, right there in the middle, is projected over the top. Now, something I got to point out, and you probably noticed already, is that it's dirty or scratchy or whatever. Actually, it got a little dirty, and I tried my best to clean it. And even using camera cleaning equipment, it seemed to just kind of scratch more. And that's kind of what happens. Everybody gets excited and you start passing this thing around and everybody wants to put everything in there, and if everything you put in there isn't completely clean, it's going to leave a tiny bit of dust and dirt, and it's going to get scratched. I'd have to say that it's really kind of almost impossible to clean. So the trick is not to let it get dirty in the first place. Make sure every object you put in there is amazingly clean. Okay, so I'm just going to start off. Now it came with a little frog, and right off the bat we lost the frog. And we got a different frog here that's a little too big, but it will show what it does. Now, last time I tried to film this with the camera, it worked, and it's working now. It makes it look like it's above. But when you go too far, it disappears. It's interesting that it even fools the camera, because the way the camera focuses, I would think that it might get tricked by this, but it's not. I mean, yes, it is. And it looks even more real in person. But as you can see, you know, it's not there. It's actually down in there. And just in the interest of time, I'm probably going to go through things rather quickly. It's coming up a little too bright. Let me try to get the light a little farther away. There we go. There we go. That's more like it. Kind of amazing. And it's on this neat little base where that comes with it, where you can rotate easily. So if you, and that just made the frog move. So let me try to get that back into the middle. Nope, I ruined it. Anyway, what you can do is turn it now easily and so on. But basically, that's not the frog that came with it. And so that frog is too big, and so that's kind of ruining the effect. Let me put something different in there. And I've got a whole bunch of things lined up to put in there to explain. I think we'll start with a dime. Now a dime is kind of an example of what not to put in there because it will scratch it. This one, of course, is already scratched. Probably what you're going to end up doing is finding this thing so neat, and you're probably going to scratch up the first one you get, and you're going to order another one. But I mean, look at that. Absolutely looks like that dime is right there. Even up close. Now, of course, it warps a little bit because it's not a perfect parabolic mirror, but I mean, it's also not very expensive. It's all plastic. Of course, the dime is actually way down there. And yeah, I find myself wanting to show that you can put your finger through it every time. And that's what happens is you can fool the first person the first time by just bringing it out and showing them, and they'll try to grab the object, but then after they know that it's not there, they'll still grab for it. I'll put a penny in there. I find that I do the same thing. I still grab for it every time. Get that out. Perfectly round object that you know is supposed to be round like a penny will warp a little bit. And I'll just stick my finger through it every time. I feel like I have to. And okay, the next one. Now the coins are very shallow objects, and so they're right on the horizon, right at the bottom there. But something like this screw should be more impressive. See that? Now that really, really, really looks real. I mean, that's incredible. I'd have to say that that's probably the most realistic looking thing. I mean, you find yourself doing it over and over again, yet you have to try to touch it. But it is absolutely not there. And when you go too low, you find it start to disappear. But it's just amazing how well this thing works. It kind of gets you thinking, you know, some of the things you see out there, are they real or are they holograms? You know, this is the head of a Q-tip. It's important to get it right exactly in the middle. Yeah, right there. I just put my fingerprint right on it. It's almost impossible to keep it clean. So there's the head of a Q-tip. And some things do better than others. As you saw, that screw had a lot of reflective surfaces, so it showed up really well. Now this Q-tip head being white not showing up very well. Or the camera's having trouble doing it. Anyway, on to the next item. The next item, I thought it was a neat experiment. Boy, you just barely touch it and you're going to get a fingerprint on it. Because of, basically you have reflections coming in all directions, you start to wonder, like on something like a little model wheel, is it going to get down in there because of the way the reflections work? And it does. And the reason, I'm not exactly centered there. There we go. And it does because of all the different angles. I mean, it's coming in at every angle on this. As you can see, it does represent the wheel even down in it. And it's warping it, of course, because it's not a perfect curve. And I apologize, I'm right next to my air conditioner and it just turned on. But, you know, that shows that. It's just amazing to me. And then disappears as you look straight down in. And then reappears. Of course, the camera. It's amazing. Alright, now I brought in some Lego pieces. Just because I thought they would do pretty well. This is a small brick. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, that really shows up. Except for being a bit warped. Also realizing just now, I don't think that's a real Lego piece. I think it's one of the copies. But that shows that, you know, it's definitely not really there. Yeah, I'm getting up there in time, so I'm probably going to start skipping some things. I wanted to show this. This is neat. At first I didn't think this was working. This is a glow-in-the-dark marble. And the first time I tried that, I didn't think it was working, but then I realized I'm just not at the right angle. And that it does work. Now, it's a little too tall. So, okay, here's one that's beating the system, actually, because it's doing its representation. Maybe I need less light. It's like starting to try to glow. Okay. This one definitely looks different to the eye than is showing up on the camera. And I don't know why. Just a little bit of difference between the human eye and the camera on this one. It's a failure, so I'm going to quit. And what I also brought out was a regular cat's eye marble, because I wanted to show, because anything has anything clear, the result you get. There we go. Actually, this isn't the result I got last time. Last time I put something clear in there, it actually didn't work because of the way it was shining through. And this one does seem to work. I wonder if more light is going to help or hinder. It's a little too tall for the thing, but it, you know, pretty neat actually. And to the eye, from what I'm looking at right here, with less light, how about if I might be able to do this with the eye? Get farther back and zoom in. And maybe that'll be doing what my eye is doing. Yeah. There we go. It's more like what I'm seeing. It's having trouble focusing. There we go. Now it's showing up like my eye is showing up. Makes sense actually, because I'm farther back. And there it is. And that's actually really hard to do, so I'm going to go back to regular. And that's a marble. Now, I brought in like a little Lego head. Let's see what that does. That really looks good. The Legos look really real. Interesting, as I zoom in, or I'm not zooming in, I'm actually moving in with the camera. And this camera will do macro. When you get too close, it doesn't seem to want to do it. I don't know why, but if I put my finger in there, it'll focus on my finger. Interesting, you almost want to be back and then zoom in. Nope. Doesn't really want to do this one. So, we'll go next. Now I wanted to show, now if you put something that's way too big, I got this SpiderMan figure. I wanted to show what happens when it kind of goes like out of the frame. You know, because it's bigger than its platform. And basically what you do is you get the 3D effect of whatever is in the frame. That's actually a good representation showing where it really is and what it's showing. It really looks real. You find yourself, even though you know, you keep on touching it, or trying to touch it. And I'll move along quite a bit quicker now. I'm going to move to, I've got some nature things. I've got a leaf. Put a leaf in there. Now the leaf really looks good. It's pretty amazing. Now the leaf really looks like you could touch it. That's amazing. I'm glad the camera shows this. There it is down there. Amazing. Now I brought in a little, very small flower that I don't know if I'm going to be able to grab because it's going to be a kind of a tweezer thing. It's a really small flower. Here we go. There. Okay, I hope that works. And realize I just grabbed it with my finger again and put another fingerprint on it. There we go. I'd say that looks pretty good. Yeah, that's really good. And now the next thing, I got a dandelion. I can't pick that up. Okay. Now I got a dandelion, I'm going to have to try to be careful with this because the dandelion, of course, very delicate. And I want to try to keep all the little seeds on there. Let me get this. Okay, I think I got it. I'm going to put it in there. And we'll see if that works. Boy, I hope it does. See what we got. I think we're going to be at a different angle here. Now it's working, but of course it's like out of range. It's too tall. And it's not really working to the eye either because it's too big. Let me try the trick to get back where I am and zoom in. Now I think it will work. There's a limit on the because of the mode I'm in. There we go. There we go. Of course, you'd either need to find a smaller dandelion, which doesn't exist, or you would have to get a larger Mirascope to do something like this. I think I have too much light. Let me see what happens. Now I don't have enough light. A little more. Too much. Too little. There we go. There. That's a pretty good look. Doing pretty good with it. Anyway, I was hoping that'd be really good. It was okay. Of course, it didn't fit. And now the last thing I got, I saved this one for last because I had just cleaned the thing. And I've got an object that's dirty. I hope I can even get a hold of it. What I have is a bug. I don't know how I'm going to get it. I got one of those roly-polies. I'm going to put him in there and hope that he kind of stays in the middle. This may work, this may not work. Yeah, there he is. And so that looks like the bug is at the top. Yeah, but he of course is not really there. He's way down in there. But that really looks real. And that is amazing how the camera will do its autofocus on something that's not there. It's doing full 3D. It gets into all the little nooks and crannies of that bug and represents him artificially very well. And of course, if you've ever caught one of these roly-polies, they're not very good at righting themselves, and this could take all day, so I'll just wrap this up. From my own experience, I gotta say this Mirascope is, I don't remember what it cost, but it was not very much money. And you got to wonder when you see it, does it really work, or is it sort of work, or is it lousy? And hopefully I've shown you that it works very, very well. And it's certainly worth getting. And as you can see, you can put bugs in it. See, he's just gonna roll up in a ball. He's a quitter. Yeah, he gave up. I'll put him back outside somewhere. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. Hope you got a kick out of it. It's a good thing. All right. Bye-bye.